Hi there, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. I've been busy when not shooting videos about other things. I've been busy doing just some peyote stitched cartoon stuff. So here's a My Little Pony Friendship is Magic pony. I found this pattern on Pinterest, I believe. And I wove it. There it is in real life. I didn't have quite the right yellow, so I just used a more natural pony color, but her hair is still pink, bubblegum pink, and like a silver lined light pink, and her eyes are still cartoony. So I think it turned out really cute. My next pony is Rainbow Dash. Yeah, and it's the same, obviously it must be the same designer, because it's the same kind of pose and the same size. So what I thought I would do instead of peyoteing across and doing it this way, I turned it sideways. And when you turn a peyote pattern sideways, suddenly it's brick stitch, right? I'm sure you know this. It's not rocket science, but it allows you to just bead the part of the image that you want, right? So I've got her legs and part of her tail now going on. So because I'm doing brick stitch, it allows you the flexibility. I'm only doing parts of her at one time to make it easier, because there's a lot of jogging around that I would have to do. So yeah, find an image that comes out like this, like in a peyote rectangle or square shape, and just turn it sideways, and you can follow it like you would any other pattern, except you can eliminate the background. It's like it doesn't exist. Like brick stitching a pattern like this is is really the same thing as brick stitching around, say, around a shape, around a square or something that you're finishing after you've embroidered something or whatever. And you know how we like to brick stitch and stuff because it makes it look prettier. Well, it's the same exact thing. You start out with ladder stitch, which is what I did down here, and then you just build out and just go through the thread bridges and add your beads in the next row and then the next row, and then you know. So I think I've got a couple of minutes. I can do some right now. So I'll kind of move her like this. My working thread is coming out here, like so. And what I want to do is take a dark, now I don't need to expand anything, I just need to add a bead and keep going. I'll show you what I mean by expand. I call it expanding, but I don't know if there's a better word. Come on. You're far away from me and it's hard to see. Okay, and then you come out, you've gone through the thread bridge and you come back up through the bead. Okay? That's the one I just added, like that. Like that, so we'll go it's gonna be have to be really close. Okay, so I've gone under the thread bridge. I'm gonna pull and get caught on everything, of course. Okay, and go back up through. It often pushes the bead off like this, but don't worry about it, just go up through it like so. If it helps, I'm sorry. If it helps, you can hold your finger there like that, and that'll kind of stop the bead from wanting to fly away on you. Okay. So there's my third bead of this section. Now what I want to do is add some green, because that's what it looks like in the pattern. Another thing I like about this is it's not as kind of anal retentive as peyote stitching a cuff with a pattern in it, because with that, at least in my experience and estimation, you need to kind of you need to be extremely precise with your bead color placement, or you will get lost in how to plot where everything goes. Because you need to kind of sight where things are. And if you are off by even one bead, it can throw everything off. But with this kind of work, it's not so bad. If you need, for example, this row here where there's 3 yellows right here, 1, 2, 3, the pattern actually calls for 4, but I didn't have the right amount of room for other things if I did 4, so I just added 3. And you know what? It's not the end of the world. It doesn't affect everything the same way, because this changes, this is quite a dynamic thing, right? We can do this kind of stuff. So you can make room and you can shrink down and you can kind of move around. Whereas with the full, like, my husband calls it dot matrix kind of beading, because the pattern works out, linear way, just like a dot matrix printer used to work. For those of us who are old enough to remember using dot matrix printers, that's the way they are, right? They go da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and advance. Well, that's the way that beading, peyote stitching strips like that, or panels, that's the way they are. Brick stitching, though we are working, in a linear way, we're not working with up beads and down beads, and I think that's the difference. We're not doing the up bead, down bead thing. I mean, I am keeping an up bead, down bead pattern up here so that I can connect my sections in a logical way, right? Whereas, with peyote, I think that must be what the difference is. So that's a big part of this, is just figuring out where your beads kind of need to sit rather than up and down. I hope that makes sense to you, other than, just in my own mind. It makes sense to me. Okay, one more trick I'm going to show you before I go is when you need to expand, like when you need your rows to get longer or shift diagonally down, which happens quite often, is what you do is you pick up your 2 beads. Pick up 2, and then what you're going to do is go through your first thread bridge, like that. Pull. Okay. And then go up through the second bead. Don't worry about the first one, it's fine. Okay? And you see how that pushes this blue bead kind of down? Well, that's all there is to it. In cases like this, where you need to go kind of that extra bead length further out, you just add it on with a loop motion with your thread. So it's kind of like a ladder stitch. I don't have time today, but in another video I'll show you ladder stitch and how to kind of start the pattern off, because that's an essential thing to know for doing a lot of things. Okay, so but this like one bead expansion is kind of critical to know for a lot of patterns. And when you've got like a space that you need to create, like this, like where there's these 3 on a diagonal and then nothing, that's just burying your thread and traveling like this. And I know that that's probably obvious for most people out there who've been beading for a little bit, but for, some people it's probably not as clear. So I'm just trying to be clear. But that's all that is, okay? Don't panic. It's you just weave your way through and then come up where you need to come up and add your beads. And then you carry on the next row. And then when this thing happens, go back down and through. And then you carry on. Okay? That's what I do. I'm sure you could just do one section at a time, like that, and then come all the way down, and then carry on over here, for example. But I don't like to do that because I get into a linear mode, and I just want this to, be linear. So, anyway, that's sort of my little chat about brick stitching. Because when I'm done this, she's going to be, I don't know, 3.5 inches tall probably, which is awesome, as Rainbow would say. Yeah, it's awesome. And if it's too flimsy feeling to be like a pattern or to be a pendant on its own, then I will glue it to some ultra suede or something and stick it or stitch it down, and then add my bail or my jump rings to it and call it a pendant that has been stabilized, because it is still quite flexible. So we'll see. I'm not writing anything in stone, but I will definitely show you Rainbow again when she's, either when she's close to being done or done. I hope you're having a great day, and thank you for letting me into your homes. And please remember to turn that subscription button from red to gray. And then when you do that, there will be a bell icon, and the bell icon needs to be clicked so that you can get push notifications and emails for when my videos come out. All right? So I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.